welcome to Delicious Food. Today we're going to make Pho Tai Bo Vien, or also known as Vietnamese Pho Noodle Soup. What we're going to use are about 7 to 8 beef bones, about a pound of beef tenderloin, but you can use beef sirloin tip or beef round eye. And this is optional. This is Vietnamese beef balls, or kind of like beef meatballs. This is the brand I like. Some of the seasonings: an onion, 1 big block of sugar rock. You could buy it in a box like this. A tablespoon of sugar, tablespoon of salt, a teaspoon of ground pepper, 1 knob of ginger. And then you also need the seasonings. What you can do is you can buy a pre-packaged seasoning for pho that looks like this, and it actually has a little cloth pocket that you can put all your seasoning in, or you can make your own seasoning. And if you make your own seasoning, these are the things you'll need: fennel seed, about a tablespoon of coriander, 3 knobs of dried sago, 1 stick of cinnamon, about 8 cloves of dried aniseed. And these are approximations. You can use a little bit more, a little bit less of the seasoning depending on what you like. We're gonna need some Oriental pho noodles, whichever pho noodle you like. You can buy medium, large, or small. And fish sauce. So let's start cooking. Okay, so we're gonna put the seasoning in something that will hold the entire thing and it doesn't float in your broth. And so this is kind of like a, it looks like a big tea ball. And what I did is I'm gonna put all the seasoning into it. And for these larger knobs, like the dried sago and the cinnamon, if you don't fit it in this ball, it's okay, you can leave it floating because this is easy to take out. Okay, so the next step is roasting the onion and the ginger. Put it on a pan, stick it in the oven for about 350 degrees at about 10 to 15 minutes. So while the onion and ginger are roasting in the oven, we're gonna parboil the beef bones so then we can get the dirty stuff off of it and wash it before we put it in the broth. So boiling water in a pot, and then just add your bones. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna let it boil for about like two or 3 minutes, so you don't see any pink around it. And then you're gonna take it out once it's parboiled for about 2 minutes, and then you're gonna wash it. While the beef bones are parboiling, what you're gonna do is you're gonna have a pot with around 8 quarts of water placed on another stove. Turn it on to high heat and boil up the water so we can get ready to make the broth. Okay, so it's been about 2 minutes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the beef bones out so then we can wash, to give them a quick rinse. And then we're gonna stick it into the boiling pot of water that we had prepared in advance. Here's the pot of boiling water, so we're gonna put in the sugar rock, sugar, salt, and pepper. Fingers here, make sure everything's out. So here's the roasted onion and ginger that we roasted earlier. We're gonna put it in. And the reason why you roast the onion and the ginger, it makes the oils come out, which is flavorful for the broth. And now we're gonna add the parboiled beef that I also rinsed. And then you're gonna add the most important thing, the seasoning that you had placed in the balls, and the cinnamon stick. And you're gonna also add about a 1/4 cup of fish sauce. So here's the scum that kind of forms on the top. So what you would do is you just kind of scoop it to one side and slightly skim the top of the scum. And the reason why you want to remove the scum is what happens is eventually, if you don't, it breaks down and makes your broth look kind of not clear. It's kind of like opaque-ish. So it's more for flavor-wise and for visual-wise as well. So it's boiling now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce it to medium. So then what happens is you're going to try to make a broth out of it. And when I cover the lid, I leave a little slight opening. And then we'll just let the broth form. While the broth is cooking, take the noodles, put it in a bowl of cold water so it can get soft. It takes about 15-20 minutes, and then thereafter we're gonna boil it up. So it's been about 20 minutes, so the noodles are kind of flimsy like this, and this is how you want it. So we're gonna strain it so then we can boil it. Now you're gonna add the strained noodles into boiling water and let it boil until it's tender. So your noodles are done, so what you're going to do is you're going to strain it and then kind of rinse it with some cold water so it stops the cooking. So now we're going to add the beef meatballs into the broth. So now we're going to prepare the pho bowl, and what you're going to do is you're going to put some of the white rice noodle and then the sliced beef, and we're gonna go get some broth. So you're gonna turn up the pot of the broth to boiling, so then it's nice and hot in your pho. So you wanna take a little bit of the beef meatballs, and then you're gonna ladle the broth straight on top of the sliced beef so the beef cooks. And you're gonna garnish it with some chopped green onions, chopped cilantro, a tip of an onion, green onion, and some sliced onions. What you can eat the pho with is some bean sprouts, some lime, some basil leaves, and this is called Vietnamese ngò gai. And the condiments you eat it with are sriracha chili and some hoisin sauce. Enjoy your delicious meal. Delicious.